Hello guys, and welcome back, and I'm really sorry that I didn't make a video yesterday because, well, it was a blackout. So yeah, anyway, so, welcome back, and today we're gonna be talking about Fate Remnant Collide. So yeah, let us begin, ladies and gents. And also, before we actually start, I'm going to be also making another series as well, and you probably might know it. Or at least, somewhat get the general idea. What if Deku, as in Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia, had, or not really had, but more like, basically he's gonna be in RWBY. It's basically just like this one, but except, without the powers of like servants or anything of that sort. And also, if you're wondering, wait, what type of powers will we have? Well, I'm definitely not gonna give him one for all. I'm going to be giving him something else. So yeah, anyway, continue on. So yeah, so we go back to where Rex and the others are currently in, aka back at school, where they're currently, uh, at the at the lunch table, or at least in the dining hall, as everybody's eating their lunch. As one of them specifically, Yang would say this, that test was really hard, she would say, as he would say this. Well, not to me exactly, he would say, as one of them would say this, specifically, Weiss, as she would say this. Yeah, maybe because you didn't, study, she would say. As, Yang would say this. Oh, come on, I was busy, she would say. As, Rex would say this. Busy doing what exactly, he would say. As Yang would just look at him, as she would say this. Come on, you're basically my childhood friend. Just defend me, she would say. As he would say this. What? I'm just being an honor student. Sorry about that. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. As after saying that, she would say this. Mm, God dang other students, she would say. As he would say this. Well, anyway, as you look towards the others, so what are you planning to do? He would say. As one of them would say this. Specifically, Walter. As he would say this. Well, honestly, I'm probably just gonna do my own, my own thing. Probably listen to some music. As he would say this, specifically Rex. Wait, you like music? As he would say this. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. Also my favorite pastime, he would say. As, one of them specifically, Harmony would say this. Didn't know that, she would say. As one of them would say this, specifically Tina. Oh, yeah, also, have you heard? She would say. As he would say this. Heard exactly what, he would say, specifically Rex. As one of them would say this, specifically Tina. Well, apparently the Pistol Festival is coming soon, so as Rex would say this. Well, yeah, I did heard about that. I did also remember back in the day, I would always watch some of the other students also do that. You know, every year, he would say. As one of them would say this. Specifically, Ruby, as she would say this. Well, you basically live here, so you basically have a free seat, she would say. As she would say this. Yeah, no kidding, he would say. Especially back in the day where I'm basically in the stands and everybody's just like looking at me, he would say. As one of them would say this, specifically, Yang, as she would say this. Being the invincible king you are, well, she would say. As, one of them specifically, Weiss would say this. That makes sense. Anyway, let's just continue on eating, but before they can, they would see, as the rest of the team look over, also, well, Team Wrath, Team, Juniper, and also Team Ruby, as they would see four boys, more specifically, Team Bitch Ass. I meant Team Cardinal. Currently hurting a Faunus girl. As one of them would say this, specifically, Cardin himself. See, told you it's real, he would say, as you'd start pulling on the Faunus, the Fauna, I meant the rabbit Faunus's ear. As one of them would say this, specifically the green haired one. Ew, what a beast. Or at least what a freak, he would say. As one of them would say this. Yeah, I'm surprised that even, Osmond decided to bring her in, he would say. As she would say this. Stop, it hurts, she would say. As he would say this. Or what, he would say. As when everybody saw that, one of them would say this. Specifically, Tina. Dang that douchebag, she would say. As one of them would say this. Specifically, Nora. Let's break his legs, she would say. As, Rex would say this. Let me handle this, he would say. As one of them would say this. Specifically, Jean. Or Jane. Wait, why are you doing that? That would be, as he would say this. Don't worry. Besides, I want to see that asshat pay, he would say. As after saying that, he would walk towards them. As while Cardinal is basically, oblivious to what he's doing, when the rest of his team saw Rex, well, they would start running away immediately because they know who he is. As when, he saw a looming shadow over him, he would say, "Alright, who the hell is that?" But before he can say anything else, he would look over and would see Rex with with a bloodthirsty stare. Actually, more like a bloodlusty stare, I meant. Where he's basically looking at him with pure bloodlust, as the entire room is basically, being, engulfed in basically like, Conker's hockey. But instead of everybody basically like, falling to the ground and basically, you know, getting knocked out, instead they're currently panting really profusely. The rest of his team and also Team Ruby and, Juniper are basically okay because they're not a part of his wrath. Mostly towards Cardin, as you say, hello, Rex, you would say. Rex, as he would basically be grabbed by the neck, as you'd say this. Mind telling me what are you doing, he would say. As he would say this. Oh, I'm just. As he would throw him towards, towards his, what is it called again? Towards the table that he's, using to eat, as his face would just be full of just, all of his food. As he would just look over and would see an angry Rex, as you would say this. I tolerated several people, but you, as he would grab Gungnir, as he would say this. You are despicable, he would say. As he would get ready to raise his, his spear, as before he would hear, Rex, she would say. As when he heard that, he would look over and would see his mom. As when he saw his mom, he would say this. Oh, hey, Mrs. Goodwitch, he would say. Or Professor Goodwitch, he would say. As she would say this. Hmm. It seems that you've gone into a fight. But it doesn't matter, she would say. As she would look over towards Cardin, Cardin, as she would say this. Please go to the principal's office immediately, she would say, as he would say this. Yes, ma'am, he would say, as he would start leaving to go to where, you know, to where, Osmond is. As she would look over towards Rex, as he would say this. Sorry about that, Mom, he would say, as she would say this. Don't worry about it. Besides, she would look over to him as she would say this. You did the right thing. I hate people like, Cardin over there, she would say, as he would say this. Yeah, me too. As after saying that, he would say this. So I should probably go back to class, he would say. As she would say this. Yes. And so after that, they would start moving towards combat class, which was being led by Rex's mother, aka Glinda Goodwitch, aka Professor Goodwitch. So, as we continue on, we currently see Rex basically in the field, as he's currently getting ready for his match. Let's go to a little flashback. So, he's currently, in the class where he's basically not really fighting, but more like, seeing, a few people basically fighting each other, like, for example, Ruby against Yang, things of that sort. As when it's finally his turn, or at least sort of his turn, well, it's more like, well, it's more like Pyra would basically come up first, as Good Witch, aka, his mother would say this. So, mind telling me who you want to fight, she would say, as she would say this. I want to fight, as she would look over towards Rex, as she would say this. Rex, she would say, as when she said that, everybody was excited, knowing how, the Invincible King and the Invincible, well, lady, or, the Invincible Woman would basically, fight each other. But they would also give out another name, the Invincible Queen, because they're basically in equal stats. Sort of. I mean, um, with Rex, it's a bit complicated. If he, uses, like, per se, his ability to basically imbue a noble phantasm's ability into, like, one of his weapons, you could easily beat her. Without even using, like, a servant himself. Like, for example, summoning in, like, Lancer, for example. So, as when we, currently see him, yeah, basically back to the present, Rex is getting ready for his battle between between him and also Pyra. As after getting ready, we continue on as we currently see Rex getting ready for his battle between him and also Pyra. As after he fully finished, wearing his, huntsman clothing, he would start leaving to where Pyra is. So, when he arrived at Pyra's, position, he would be in the opposite side of her. As Glinda would say this, "Ready, set, go," she would say, as everybody's basically cheering on both sides. Like, for example, the whole of, like, Team RWBY, except for, mm, yeah, except for, Blake, they're currently cheering on Rex right next to, Team Wrath itself. Team Juniper is obviously cheering on Pyra, with some of the other students basically cheering on them. Except for, Cardin, for obvious reasons, because he literally felt like he was about to die from him. And the rest of, like, Team Cardinal, well, they're basically just ignoring the fight, doesn't because they don't want to get in contact with, ever trying to mess with him ever again. And as we currently see Rex basically fighting her. Rex and, both Rex and Pyra seem to be in equal, fighting forces. Until the last part, where Rex basically transforms his Gungnir into its, bow form. As after reeling it back with a few dust crystals, you would use both a simple red dust, aka, if some fire dust, as you would also have, some wind dust. As after putting them together, he would get ready his, his attack as you scream out, "Burning flames," he would say. As after saying that, he would shoot out a blazing, a fire like, arrow. Because of, well, if you know Naruto, probably know Scorch Release, aka one of the most dangerous and often most terrifying move imaginable. Jesus. That bloodline is one of my favorites currently in, like, Naruto, by the way. It's basically like mixing both air and also fire, which would make sense because if air is basically fire mixed with wind, as in oxygen, it will make the fire even stronger. So yeah, imagine something of that sort as the flame would rush towards Pyra, as it would cause her, her her aura to lower a little bit to the point that it's almost, down to zero. As Glinda would say this, "Enough is enough," she would say. As after saying that, both Rex and, Pyra would look at Goodwitch as she would say this. "The match is over," she would say. As she would look towards Pyra as she would say this. Pyra Nika's, wait for a second. Pyronikos' aura has been lowered to the red zone, she would say. As after saying that, everybody would basically be cheering on Rex. As after Rex did that, he would walk towards Pyra as he would say this. "You okay?" he would say. As she would say this. "Yeah, I'm fine," she would say. As she would be lifted off by, Rex. As she would say this. "Ow." I'm guessing the aura didn't fully protect me, she would say. As he would look over and would see her leg a little bit twisted, as he would say this. Guess I'll just have to carry you to the nurse's office then," he would say. As she would say this. What?" she would say. As we currently see like, some of Team RWBY, like, for example, Yang. Basically, several girls that I mentioned that sort of like, Rex, going like, "What?" all of them would say. As Rex would say this. "Come on, let's go," he would say. As he would say goodbye to his mother, and the rest of the class would leave, while the rest of the other girls, like RWBY, blah blah blah, are currently jealous. So yeah, as after he brought her to the, to the nurse's office, he would basically end off the day where he basically ate dinner with his, teammates, and so everybody would basically go to sleep. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye!